You ready, Colby? Javen's got a show for us. Are we hooked into Warner Robins, Eastman, Macon, and Dublin? All right. So they're seeing us on a 10 or 20-second delay, depending on internet traffic. So if we ask them a question, they go to answer us, there'll be a delay, not because we're fools, but because it's electronics. All right. What I'd like to do, we can communicate with them, right, Colby? We can communicate with them because we need to get a count of how many people are in each place. So can I get a counter here? Lorraine, do you want to be our counter? She says no, she's bad with math. All right, I guess I'll count because I can see all of you then. We need 188 given. Is there a motion? Motion from Charlie, a second from Mert. All right. All in favor of taking it without emendations, please. Thank you. Sound very enthusiastic. And all opposed, please say nay. Thank you very much. Right, so we will do that. All right. At this time, then, I would like to call up Ms. Diane Mitchell to the approval of the graduates to the faculty.
Good afternoon. Again, I'm Diane Mitchell. For many of you, I've not met you in person. I am your university registrar, and I am delighted to share with you that we currently have 568 students that will participate in the commencement activities on May 8th. Of that 568, we have 11 candidates for certificates, 170 candidates for associates. We have 371 for bachelor's, and we have 16 for the master's level. We have two people that's a little unique this year. We have a couple that will be earning their associate in nursing. They spent the last 2 years with us, so they will earn it on May 8th, and we hope that we'll be able to keep them to continue to get a bachelor's degree. So I thought that was a little, just a few tidbits from last spring. In spring of 2017, we have some increases. For the School of IT, they graduated 40 students. This will graduate 47, which is a 17% increase. We also have the School of Business that graduated 73 people in 2017. And this spring, they will graduate 82, which is a 12% increase. And then, of course, graduate studies, in 2017, we will have 16. Again, that's a 77% increase. Not last, but Georgia Academy, in the spring of 2017, we graduated 17 students. This year, we will graduate 28. That's an increase of 64%. So I thought that was very, very nice to share with you. Mr. President, may I have your permission to ask for a motion to approve the graduates for 2018? Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the class of 2018? Do I have a second? We have a motion. We have a second. Let's have a vote. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Dr. Blake, I think we have her approval. Okay, very good. Just one small reminder, grades are due on May 9th at 9 a.m. Thank you.
Just want to make sure that the other campuses gave their approval. Colby? He's out. He walked out. We went a little faster. Good. We went a little faster. Good. Did Macon follow us? Did we lose Macon? Bill Hervey's there. The vote from Macon. Anything going wrong at this time is all my fault, and that's not a joke. Macon's good, okay. And how about, we don't know about Eastman, the others? All right, so did that. All right, the next thing we are supposed to do here is elect officers for this particular assembly. a faculty vice chair, which is a position I currently hold. Charles Matson is interested in that position. No one else is. Macon, Eastman, Dublin, Warner Robins. If you have somebody interested, please contact us. You can email me. If there's nobody doing things, let me set that back up again. Okay. And the other is the parliamentarian. That is John Patillo is certainly interested in that position at this time for next year. Is anyone else wanting to be nominated for that position? Either position. Tell me about Macon. All right, then we'll close the nominations. So we got a motion for closing, a second for motion. All in favor for closing, say aye. All right, all opposed, say nay. We then take a vote, right? Well, so by acclamation, I guess they've got them automatically, so we can go past that. All right, so now we'll get the report from the Faculty Senate, which will be run by Dr. Frazier. Here you go.
Here we go. So I will be giving the report for the Faculty Senate as well as several committees thereafter that could not be here. And then Mr. Garias, Peter Garias, will be doing some others that could not be here today. The MJA Faculty Senate has held 7 meetings this academic year and will hold our last on Friday. We have approved approximately 20 proposals, and some of these proposals I'm going to be mentioning as the various committees about the work they've done. But for example, we have approved to have the admission criteria to move on and ready students to allow the PSAT to institute a minimum requirement for C for aviation courses, to approve an official makeup policy for students who miss an exam due to participation on an MJA sports team or other university things of those natures. We also approved several programs, some of which I'm going to be mentioning, such as the MS in IT, a new Bachelor's of Science in Political Science, and a Master's in Social Work. We heard several reports from President Blake and from Provost Anderson on a variety of topics and advised them on changing the date of the convocation, academic strategy for the university, and 2 members served on the Provost Committee that was held to fill the position. And we also have some members who have volunteered to be on the USG's Momentum Year Initiative. The most significant work I believe we've done was to revise the Senate bylaws, to eliminate errors, to eliminate inconsistencies in policies, and to make things a little bit better. Our next major work is to update the faculty handbook. That is the project that we'd like to undertake. 4 senators rotated off this year due to resignation or going duties in the administration in the university. And we also lost a great passing of Dr. Jeff Byrne. The officers include myself, Dr. Javen Frazier, Dr. John Patel as the vice chair, Dr. Kathleen Burt as the recorder, and Dr. Gaston Brower as parliamentarian. We'll hold our last meeting, as I said, this Friday, and we will hold elections for officers then. To give a few other reports, this is from the Institutional Review Board that's charged with reviewing proposals for human subjects research, MJ staff and faculty. They met 3 times and approved 27 proposals. They also worked with the IT department to develop a web-based research proposal submission tool that will allow to upload the proposals that are given to the IRB. And Dr. Patillo, who was the chair, wants me to thank Dr. Dr. John Hall for serving as recorder this year. And Dr. Kim Pickens will be agreeing to serve as the chair of the IRB, and to also thank Dr. Scott Spangler and his students for all their hard work in trying to set up the web-based submission process. From the Student Media Advisory Board, they met twice this year. And among the other things, the things they've done was to officially approve the appointed editors and coordinators of the various student media. They explored options for furthering expanding the coverage and presence of the Student Media Advisory Board. They were able to achieve more prominent place on the MGA website, which is a long-standing goal. And they're starting the process themselves of updating the board's bylaws. And this was submitted by Dr. David Sidor. The Institutional Effectiveness Board, submitted by Dr. Kendra Russell, the chair-elect, with Dr. Estelle Knuckles as the recorder. They voted to add some sections in their comprehensive template review. They also met and reviewed 10 programs and submitted their findings and recommendations to Dr. Michael Gibbons, the Director of Institutional Research. From the Graduate Studies Council report, that shouldn't have been that hard to say, sorry, from Dr. Randy Spey. They have been meeting 6 times. They met 6 times this year to address various issues regarding graduate council. They have been advising as an advising group for the president, the provost, the senate on standing committees. Their curriculum and assessment committee revised and evaluate graduate program proposals. Their student resources committee worked with an advisory group and faculty development committee to review qualifications, roles, and status.
Colby Eastman's down and their IT guy's not there. I got an email from them.
From the Intercollegiate Athletic Department committee, we've got a report about how that our athletics have done. They've been doing very well. There were appearances in the Southern States Athletic Conference Tournament in 10 of our sports. Earned 4th place in the women's soccer team, 2nd place conference finish, and currently 12th national ranking for the men's tennis team. The baseball team is currently tied for 2nd place in the conference and ranked 13th nationally. The women's tennis team was co-champion for the Southern States Athletic Conference and is currently ranked 13th nationally. This year, the men's and women's tennis coach, Tom Bates, was named Conference Coach of the Year. Academically, 44 student athletes have earned the place on the conference all-academic team, having earned a GPA of 3.25 or higher. They have 7 student athletes selected as NAIA Scholar Athletes, which requires a 3.5 GPA or higher, and the other 2.5, GPA or higher. And the most notable of the academic accomplishments is that Samantha Silva, a member of the women's soccer team, was named an academic All-American for the 2017-2018. And this was submitted by Mr. Chip Smith. From the Faculty Development Committee, Dr. M.E. Cochran-Jackson submits this report. They had a budget of $13,567, and they awarded with they had 35 total applications in which they were able to divide up that money, but they had quite a few more monetary requests than they could meet and would need some more money to meet all of them. So please continue to submit your applications as all of the money has been used. Upon recommendation from the chair, the Faculty Development Committee will form a subcommittee in the fall to revise and improve the application process to reduce the number of returned or unfunded applications. Dr. Lily Wong is the chair-elect of the Faculty Development Committee and will serve as the chair for the 2018-19 academic school year. From the Faculty Recognition Committee, for Dr. Charlotte Miller, thank you to everyone who submitted nominations earlier this spring, and congratulations to our excellent nominees for our faculty awards and scholarship service and teaching. They're pleased to let you know the award recipients will be awarded in a few months when we all come together for fall convocation. So in fall convocation, they will be awarded. The Diversity Council has recently met to reorganize itself and organize itself. So it had nothing significant to report, and eventually, of course, I know they will. Academic affairs, as usual, has been very, very busy, as Dr. Warren will help me know, and as we work together and have learned. Passing things, Master of Social Work, Bachelor of Science in Political Science, Bachelor of Science in Rehabilitation Science, Associates of Science in Health Sciences, Early Childhood, Secondary Education, just to name a few. New minors in Business and Sociology, certificate programs in Cyber Threats and Prevention, as well as coding. Some curriculum changes, a new foreign language placement policy has been put in place, as well as new foreign language offerings in Latin and Korean, and a new structure for learning support requirements and placement. Some new policies about only accepting transfer credits from regionally accredited institutions, admission requirements for the MS in Information Technology, new policy regarding hardship withdrawals, and also others. The Academic Affairs conducted a survey of faculty regarding the Area B courses and has been working to in communication with on all of these items. This has been was submitted by Dr. Stephen Taylor. And from my perspective, last time for me to speak on this, from the executive committee, Dr. Shamani Shakwambi, they talks or reports that they met 7 times this academic year. Dr. Rebecca Lanning was chosen as chair-elect, and Mr. Dwayne Day was the recorder. Things that they have done this year, a lot. They populated the standing committees and boards of the Faculty Senate and took the PTR election, initiated revision of the Senate bylaws to reflect the faculty handbook and worked well with the Senate to get that cleaned up. Reviewed and approved a number of proposals and bylaws that went to the Senate as well. Initiated an investigation to identify all committees, boards, and council of the Faculty Senate that have a budget in terms of how is funding allocated to the committee and used. They also worked with the Faculty Recognition Committee about the review process and also initiated a better process of identifying students who serve on the various committees and boards of the Senate. And Dr. Mami would like to say, I'd like to personally thank each member of the executive committee for their individual contributions to the process of faculty governance. And now, Mr. Garias here will present his, and then I'll come back to those and ask those who have a report out to come forward.
Minutes. All right, I have several here from people who are away. The Academic Personnel Policies Committee with Charlie Agnew. They made a recommendation that faculty evaluation should have 2 areas in service, volunteer work and professional service. They made a recommendation to the Promotion and Tenure Committee that assistant chairs be removed from the tenure and promotion process except by request of the candidate. And Dr. Dubuisson was elected to be the chair in the 2018-2019 academic year. The Library Resources Committee, chaired by Lisa Bro, they spent very fast. I made a boo-boo. No, I think I'm good here. No, that was it. I combined last year's and this year's on accident. Okay. The PTPTR committee, run by Dr. Brown, Don Brown and Macon, had 25 applications for promotion or tenure. The 1 tenure was granted, 7 promotion and tenure were granted, 6 promotions and tenure reviewed, and there are promotions. There are 25 they think to review in the next academic year. The Campus Safety Committee, chaired by Paige Crump, they had the Cook Road entrance to the Cochran campus closed to avoid drive-throughs. There have been multiple meetings with the Macon-Bibb County to address adding a crosswalk for housing and a front entrance for the Macon campus at Ivy Drive. These meetings have also addressed funding of these projects. Concerns have been raised about safety in parking lots near the Jones building in Macon during night classes. There have been improvements made to lighting, and a additional officer at night has been placed. Several other issues have been brought up and are still in discussion. These include lighting in the parking lots on the Warner Robins campus for night classes, double issues of inabilities to lock barricade doors during active shooter scenarios, additional signage for one-way traffic in the Dublin campus parking lots, and notifying faculty and staff of band students, former students, and community members, and to contact if the band person is seen on campus. Then we have the non-traditional student program, which is run by Dr. Sharon Coley. They have been focused on researching and writing procedures for prior learning assessments, known as PLAs, for students with an eye towards documenting their practices. They will continue working on procedures in the coming year, and that is all, she says. All right. So that now brings us to the officers of the university. Oh, wait, we got one more. What are we missing? Okay, so Brooke Miller, Student Affairs. Do you have a report? You can, so they can hear you in the other places. It's called sharing. Come on. And Eastman got online a little bit after we had that call. They can't see you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brooke Miller, and I'm the chair of the Student Affairs Committee. I'm going to be short and sweet. Basically, we had to vote to change the budget. We had a little bit extra for the year before, so we were able to put some in reserve. So we spoke with Amanda, and we moved some over there, so that way there were some in reserves. For this year, we've had to make some cuts, so all those emails you see about enrollment really matter. So hopefully we can put that money back. That's the goal. If we can just get enrollment up, and that's pretty much all we've done. So we just made all the student budget. I don't know who's next, Peter, but thank you.
All right. Oh, so Lane Brooks, Technology and Resources Committee.
Hey, I'm Lane Brooks, lecturer in the School of Education and Behavioral Sciences. New school on campus. We're the new kids on campus. Committee members, I'd like to thank Vila Hughes, who is the chair-elect, Nathaniel Gilbert, David Sidor, Niles Eichhorn, Christine Rigsby, Terry Sanders, Richard Binkley, Daryl Hancock, Roger Dixon, and Jonathan Jenkins. We had 2 meetings this year, and the main push of the technology committee this year was to try to determine what our identity and focus of the committee work should be. So each committee member went back to their respective colleges and surveyed their constituents to determine 3 things: what technology barriers and needs were there in teaching, what technology barriers and needs were there in service, and then also in research and scholarship. We also ask faculty to provide information on what they'd like to see included technologically in the NGA strategic plan. These results are in the process of being compiled and will be sent to the office of the provost. Thank you. That's all.
My notes. We have a notice from Jeff Wiles for the International Program Review Board. They approved a new international experiential learning program for the School of Education, study abroad programs for the School of Health Sciences and School of Information Technology. All of these programs are traveling or have traveled in the calendar year 2018 and represent new international opportunities for at least 30 MGA students. So, Jonathan Cannon. Is he here? Dr. Jonathan Cannon here. He's normally on this campus or Dublin. Here. Where's that normally located? Right. So, Francis Davis.
I'm Frances Davis. I'm your counsel. But this afternoon, I'm here speaking on behalf of the Strategic Planning Board. The Strategic Planning Board has met 6 times this year, 3 times in reference to our current strategic plan. I'm sorry, 5 times. My math was off. And twice so far related to the strategic plan that we will work on next year. As far as the current strategic plan, as you know, for this academic year, we approved 10 initiatives. I'm pleased to report, as the committee has reported, or the board has reported, that 2 of those initiatives are 100% complete. 4 of them are 85 to 95% complete. 3 are 60 to 80% complete, and 1, which is largely reliant on forces outside our control, is 50% complete at this point. Among the things the planning board discussed was the need for input into the next strategic plan. We also talked a little bit about transparency and reporting. If you go to our, you'll see that there have been quarterly reports every quarter this year, and we anticipate putting out the last one of those this summer. As far as working on our next strategic plan, the provost has convened a ad hoc committee, which is comprised of the 20 members of the strategic planning board, plus members of the faculty, staff, students, alumni, and business communities, so that we have input into what the university will look like in the next 5 to 7 years. That group has met twice so far. We will have 1 more meeting in May, and we look forward to sharing more with you on next steps.
So Dr. John Hall. Yeah, where's Dr. John Hall in Macon? All right. Are there any other reports that people here would like to give at this time before we go on to the president's staff? Yeah. All right. President Blake.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope your day is going well. Greetings to those on other. I would like to start by, first of all, saying that I meet regularly with the Staff Council and with the Faculty Senate, and I would like to thank those groups for regularly convening and for allowing me to meet with them. And you remember better than I how many times, but I've always enjoyed that opportunity. I'd like to extend my thanks to all of us who are working hard to bring this academic year to a conclusion in just a couple of weeks' time. Many are working hard, as you know, goes in for next week, as the registrar said, and then also having commencement where we will say goodbye to hundreds of students who will leave with a credential and a degree from the university, and they will be our shapation, our academic message to the world as they go out with their lives. In some ways, this has been a very transitional year and a very all-encompassing year that has brought together faculty, students, and staff, I think, in a new way. We began the year with the realization that our enrollment needed a concerted and collaborative, hands-on, immediate attention, some urgency. I'm very pleased and very grateful that many rose to that challenge, and indeed, I can report that the indications are that we are in a much stronger position today in terms of enrollment and enrollment promise for the coming year than I would have thought back in late August. Many of you get the reports. I'm not going to go into data, but at this point, as I speak, we have an enrollment trend for both the summer and the fall, the next 2 semesters, summer and fall, which indicates both in terms of student headcount and credit hours, a positive territory for the first time since consolidation. And so it's essential that over the summer we maintain that progress and we harvest, if you like, that potential that is there. And I thank you. That has been truly a campus-wide endeavor. Nobody has not been touched by this urgency. I thank you that you have risen to the occasion. We also have welcomed a new provost. We have new energy and strategy and academic affairs, and that will be critical as I wrote in my white paper about shaping the future of the institution as a whole and having a plan that continues to emphasize our public service across 5 campuses of being an accessible, affordable university and having a strategy for growth. I know that those ingredients are being put in place. On the fiscal side, we returned last week from a meeting with the Board of Regents. We were given our state appropriations. I'm very pleased to share with you those state appropriations an increase for the year, and after many years of cuts in state appropriations, we're delighted. As most things in life, as you know, with your budgets, you don't get everything you ask for, and neither did we as an institution, but we did well. We got 1.8 million. $1 million of it has to be assigned to the TRS system. It just helps fund those of you in that particular pension system. It means it's fully funded, and the rest is discretionary. About 66% of that is going to academic related activities, and the rest amongst student services and outreach so that we can continue this growth agenda. So we did have a $1 million increase in state appropriations, and that of course will continue to grow if we grow enrollment. So again, year appear financially encouraging. You will have been informed about the merit system that was, I want to stress this, it was unfunded by the Board of Regents, funded the salary increases, but internally we have been able to make some adjustments to in order to proceed with a merit award system, which is based on 2 categories, those below $80,000 and those earning more than $80,000. And the average merit award for those below $80,000 is allowable up to 1.75% average, and the average for those over 80,000 is 0.75. And that was a decision I made in order to make sure that those who earn less than others are given the lion's share of the available dollars for this coming year. And finally, we are waiting Governor Deal's signature on the budget that will release $900,000 of funding for the study and the planning of renovations here on the Cochrane campus, specifically the library, which, as many of you around my age might note, it feels like 1973 in there. And flippantly, our librarians do an amazing job, but it needs renovation. And so we're delighted that the legislature agrees with us, and we will have library renovations, and as well will also be renovated with laboratories that also need to be brought up to scratch. So it financially has been an encouraging month, and that's something to actually feel hopeful about. We are currently in the search for a vice president for enrollment management. I back in January announced that we need a new division of enrollment management to continue the outside work that is going on in the admissions office to recruit new students and to build it structurally across the university. And Dr. Tara Underwood, our Dean of Health Sciences, is the chair of that. And many of you either listening in or attending are part of that process. And the work that you're about to undertake for the next month is essential. It's very, very, very important work. Thank you for what you're doing in that. We will meet on Monday, the 6th of August. As Javen said, we have changed because of faculty senate request. We've changed the convocation to be on Monday. It will be Monday the 6th. It will start with breakfast. We're giving free breakfast, not free lunch. So if you need lunch, you bring packed bag or whatever you want. But it will be free breakfast. It will be in Macon. And it will then be a similar format to the previous 4 convocations. And we will get that agenda in more detail out to you shortly. We do have a celebration of the end of this year. We have 2, in fact. They are during the working hours for staff. They are 4 to 5:30 next Thursday here in Cochrane. The moment in Georgia Hall, but it may actually relocate across the way. We haven't quite finalized to the Admission Welcome Center just on the corner of the campus. We may have it there. I'll let you know. And then on Monday, the 7th of Macon, on the 2nd floor of the administration building at Macon. So if you would like to come by, say goodbye to colleagues that you've worked with hard, enjoy a beverage and a light refreshment. It's during the office hours. And I hope if you're on Macon or Cochrane campuses, you will be able to come to those. And finally, I thank you for what you do. My work, a joy, a reward in itself. And I beg your forbearance. I haven't been able to get back to you quickly enough or extend the hand of friendship as quickly as you deserve it. I appreciate what everyone does on this campus. I wish you Godspeed, safety, and relaxation this summer. With that, Mr. Chairman, I conclude my report. Thank you.
Dr. Anderson, would you like to speak?
Colleagues, it's good to be with you. I'll shorten my comments from 45 minutes to about 45 seconds. I want to take a minute to express my appreciation for the warm welcome you've given me since I joined in January. We've now had the chance to work together for about 3.5 months. And I have seen very clearly that we have very kind and committed people here at Middle Georgia State. I'm very thankful for that and thankful to work with a group of people who put students first. I'd also like to express appreciation to the president and the cabinet, commitment they have toward academics. It has been rewarding to see how much academics has been talked about at the cabinet level to make sure that we're doing all we can to help students progress through academic programs and go on to have successful lives. A few updates from the Division of Academic Affairs. We are, as was noted earlier, we've started the new strategic planning process. Many of you have had the opportunity to engage in that. Many of you are sitting on the committee that has worked with gathering input. Now that process will go on throughout this rest of the semester and into the summer, and at convocation the fall we'll release the plan. So we encourage you to stay involved and engaged and talk to those that are on the committee and continue to put input as that plan progresses. This year we've made progress in identifying our academic identity and creating an academic strategy. We entered into the beginning of a dialogue with the Senate on what that means. Look forward to continuing the engagement with the Senate to make sure we have a clear identity and a clear strategy, and our actions are consistent with that strategy as we move forward. We've revised the advising process to move advisors within colleges and schools to create a social environment in which students meet with their advisor and with faculty in the area where they take classes. So they'll begin to be connected to the group to work with through their entirety of their academic experience. We've worked to implement many parts of the momentum year, including developing co-requisites for math and English, starting conversations about what grit means in an environment and what an academic mindset looks like at Middle Georgia. We've completed course redesigns of Political Science 1101 and Psychology 1101. These are the first cohort of courses to go through the course redesign. We'll have more, and that'll become a campus-wide effort to find ways in which we can maintain standards, but also help more students succeed. We're going to finish the process of rethinking student and faculty orientation, which a new model will be implemented in the fall. We've identified which programs we offer at which locations and begun and will continue the process of very meticulous course scheduling to make sure that we have clear pathways for students to complete the degrees that we offer. We've worked to make data more transparent so that all decision makers have access to data about students and courses and those students that are hoping to come here, and try to find ways that we can use that data to make students more engaged and committed to coming here for their studies. We also opened a new STEM building in Warner Robins. We also began a new conversation with the Air Force Base and have early conversations going on with using continuing education to train several hundred of their lower level supervisors. And so we've got a lot going on in academic affairs. I think we've made a lot of progress in 3.5 months, and I look forward to the years that are coming ahead. If any of you are interested in being more engaged in this process, I sent out a call earlier for Provost Fellows. And I would encourage, we've had many good applications come in. I would encourage you to consider that. It is an opportunity for you to see how the administration works. It's also a more important opportunity for the administration to see a different perspective, have fresh eyes come look at institutional challenges to see if we can revive and recreate some new ideas so that we can help more students progress and find ways administratively we can handle that more efficiently. I've learned since I've been here that often many of the conversations we have focus on climbing the one mountain of enrollment, fixing our enrollment challenges. But as we look at the administration, what we're doing and how we're trying to move forward, It's more like we're climbing a mountain range. And with each peak, we see a new valley and need to enter that valley and come to a new peak and look across the many challenges that we'll have in the future. So my invitation to you as we prepare to conclude this academic year is to join us in the hike. Find ways not just to create one mountain peak, let's work together to create many as we climb and achieve many mountains in the future and finish our range together. So join with me in the hike. Thank you.
We realized a moment ago we skipped graduate studies. Kevin Cantwell, is there something you'd like?
Thank you, Peter. I wanted to say a few things about our graduate programming. We hope to send up a couple new master's degrees in the fall. All of our new programs are healthy. Our management program started last summer, has nearly 20 students. Our MAT cohort, our second cohort, will probably triple from last summer. Our nursing cohort, which I think is the fourth, will have 80% more students than the current cohort. And the master's program, the MSIT, has the problem of bursting at the seams. It is the enrollment horse we're all riding, MSIT, but it is pulling up the interest across the institution and the community for graduate education. So we're doing very well. We're at about of what we project in 10 years and about 40% of what we project in 5 years. Thank you.
All right. The Director of Diversity and Inclusion, Miss Jania, okay, how does that, how we say that? Maycoat, she and Macon? I don't know. I was just checking. Okay. Or is she under you? Hey, so we can fix that. So as a matter of fact, went right past you. So student activities, Dr. Jennifer Brandon. Student affairs. Let me fix this again. Okay. You can do all the things. Okay.
Hi. Everybody still here? All right, fantastic. I'm Jennifer Brandon. I'm the Vice President for Student Affairs, and I'm happy to be here today to share a little bit what's going on in student affairs in residence life. The decline in enrollment in the fall impacted occupancy in housing this past fall, and we were at 75% full, and we are working hard with the enrollment action team and the open houses that we've had that we have a more occupied residence halls this fall. And we're promising that, we have promising numbers right now we're at 65, reaching our goal, and it's only April. So we're excited about that. But Residence Hall, Residence Life has partnered with Academic Affairs to launch 3 new living learning communities this fall, which we're excited about. And we're grateful for this collaboration. And Residence Life also continued their alternative breaks. We called it alternative spring break last year, but we're calling it alternative breaks now because they had a nice fall break. Giving and went to Memphis, and the spring break this year they went to Houston to do community service and experiential learning. That's a collaboration with experiential learning at MGA as well. So we're excited about that. Student life, student activities. Last year the SGA, I told you, had ratified their constitution, and we had seated our first SGA this year. And they did a lot of good work, and the new SGA for 2018-19 will be seated on Friday of this week. So we're excited about the new group of SGA members that will be serving the students this upcoming year. This past week, we honored a lot of our student leaders who are leaders throughout campus and in our clubs and organizations and our sports teams at the Student Leadership Awards. Our Student Employee of the Year was Sandra Mejia out of Career Services. DeMarcus Beckham won the Diversity Champion or received a Diversity Champion Award. Nursing MGANs, which is our nursing student organization, they received the Community Service RSO Award this year, and our Club of the Year, our RSO of the Year, was the Gay Straight Alliance. We've got some wonderful students, as you all know, and we're excited to work with them this year. Career Services is still running at 150 miles per hour, and they're doing fantastic work working with our students, getting them ready for careers. They have had fantastic career on lots of campuses this year, more than they had the years before, doing all kinds of events and programmings and dinners and networking. And so they're doing great work for our students. Conduct, Title IX, counseling, disability services, and health clinics continue to work hard to keep our students enrolled and successful through challenges that come along with life. Our diversity office, Janae Baycoat, she's worked with collaboration with experiential learning to do the Unity project, which I hope you went out and visited and participated in this past fall. And athletics and recreation, you heard from Dr. Frazier, lots of the wonderful and the awards our student athletes are receiving and the success that they're having. We're excited about that. They have the reward ceremony this evening, actually. And we've got lots of participation and engagements in our wellness centers and our intramural sports, and our club equestrian team had their first year and they finished very strong for their first year, and we're excited about having it as part of our club sports offerings. Orientation last year, we had tons of orientations in the summertime, and we have tons again, or 12 this summer. So I'm all out at orientation. We've had a great year in student affairs, and we look forward to another great one. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, sure. Is Nancy Stroud down here for VP for service? There she's hiding. Okay. VP for financial service. Make sure I say the right thing.
Good afternoon. This should be short since President Blake pretty much went over everything to say. Thank you very much. But last year I stood up here, or I stood in Macon and told you that thanks to some additional funding from the University System of Georgia, that we would have a stable budget that we had had since consolidation. And that was true at the time. Since then, that we've had several challenges. The nearly 5% drop in enrollment during the fall semester, and especially this pending cut in the online tuition differential. We'll manage this fiscal year, but and the USG, as he said, was good to us in our allocations. But next year's budget presents us with some challenges. The 33% reduction of the online tuition differential is going to cost us about $1 million in revenue. With the help of the provost and others across the institution, we've made the cuts to absorb this revenue reduction. But I want to point out, we fully expect this cut to continue for 2 more years. So that means until that online differential is completely, that means is next year our revenue will go down by $1 million, and then an additional $1 million the next year, and an additional $1 million until that online differential is completely gone. And the only way for us to meet this revenue reduction in future years is for increased enrollment. We must grow, or we're going to be in for some difficult years in the next few years. I appreciate very much the partnership with the provost this past 6 months. I feel like in all of academic affairs, I feel like we are putting our resources in the places where they will be of the most benefit to us. I'm very confident of that. So thank you for academic affairs. Just a couple of important developments that have come up over the past month or so. Related to housing. One is that we are working with the USG to refinance the bonds that support the Cochran and Eastman housing. And this is progressing very quickly, and we expect this financing to save us $21 million over the next 20 years. In the first year, I think the savings are about 450,000, and that will really help us in relieving some of the pressure on the housing here in Cochrane. The other thing I wanted to mention is the USG has kicked off again their P3 initiative. And what that means to us is that we should have a new 310 bed residence hall in Macon in the fall of 2020. Yes. Okay. So the RFQ has gone out on that, and we expect that to go forward quickly also. I know I've said it. I know you've heard it from President Blake. I just got to say it again. Enrollment volume is all important to us in this next fiscal. Please keep doing everything you're doing to encourage students to enroll, to come here, to stay here. As always, if you have any questions for me, you know I'm more than happy to talk to you. Send me an email, call me, help me when I'm walking around campus. Thank you.
Ms. Frances Davis, Legal and Campus Affairs. Oh, we've seen you before.
Hello again. On the legal and campus front, really just two main things were the focus of this year. One is the University System of Georgia has undergone a system-wide policy review. What that means is not that they are making huge changes to policy. It means that they've taken a look at the Board of Regents policy manual and tried to identify places where, for example, a policy existed in two different sections and bring them together to make them more clear and easier for institutions to follow. That project, which will be done in May, we will spend the summer looking at our policies to ensure that there's nothing in our institutional policy manual that is going to be contradictory to any changes that they might have made. Just a couple of other things. We currently have a student handbook that exists apart from the university policy manual in a PDF. When we first created an online manual, it was too large a task to try to integrate those two documents, but that will be part of our work this summer as well. We want to make sure that our students are clear on their rights and responsibilities. Also on the legal front, we've handled a number of open records requests, legal matters, investigations, and the like. I want to thank Human Resources especially for always being forward thinking and how we handle issues that come up with our personnel. Both student affairs and academic affairs regularly handle grievances from students, and we handle those well. So very few actually make it up to the president's office, and when they do, it's usually students or members of the community that are not likely to be satisfied with anything but the outcome that they anticipated or wanted. There are a couple of cases that are still open, and we expect those to close out in the next few months. On the campus affairs side, for the last couple of years, I've had the pleasure of working with our campus directors here in Cochrane, in Warner Robins, and in Dublin, and they have a few administrative positions that report up to them that are often our face to the particularly on the smaller commuter campuses. This semester, we've talked about the need to make sure that we have those generalists throughout the divisions at the institution. They help us do a better job of serving students because we see how the different pieces are connected. So effective July 1, Henry Whitfield, who has been here in Cochrane and in Eastman, will be working with the Division of University Advancement. Pella Murphy, who's been in Warner Robins, will be working with Academic Affairs. And Leanne Tribble, who has served as our campus director in Dublin, will focus her full efforts on orientation and onboarding, which is so crucial to our enrollment goals. And the administrative staff that has been working with them will also be going into different divisions. I want to thank their hard work. They love this place and believe in this place and believe in our students, and they will be an asset to the divisions that they will be a part of. As far as the sort of compliance, And policy side, that work is always ongoing. So I just want to thank the faculty and each of the divisions for your collaboration and making sure that we are clear on what we need to do to serve students well. Thank you.
Yeah, the Office of Admissions.
Good afternoon. We're reporting on admissions, recruitment, marketing and communications, and the enrollment support team. And before I do so, I want to take this opportunity to echo the provost's comments about the kind and caring and also professional people across this institution. That's never been more evident to me than in the past month at open houses. The surge that you guys put in, the effort and the absolute professionalism that we exhibited externally, you should all be commended for. And I am very grateful. I had the opportunity, much more of you, and thank you. Thank you very much. With that, I'll start with admissions. And since enrollment seems to be the topic of conversation, we'll start with it. These are year-to-date numbers, and I'm just going to give you these metrics because I've challenged my team to think in metrics. 7,500 undergraduate applications have been received, 4,000 undergraduate students admitted, 3,500 guests have been hosted on our campuses, 1,300 of those regular tours, and we're estimating about 2,200 to 2,300 attended the 2 open houses. We've had 125,000 outbound emails, calls, and text messages. And the text messaging capability we've just added to our CRM, customer relationship management system. And we're pretty excited. We're seeing some good first results on that. We've had 50,000 documents scanned, and we've mailed 40,000 pieces of mail. We've also worked along with marketing and communications to stage 2 model rooms and stage 2 model rooms in Cochrane. One is the aviation wing of Harris Hall, and the other one is Georgia. From the Office of Marketing and Communications, our team has done 400 creative projects this year. We've coordinated 105 media releases and coordinations, resulting in over $500,000 in free advertising. We've posted 530 articles to Inside MGA, and over 250,000 views have occurred during that time. We've had in social media, and actually I'm going to go back to the media releases. We're seeing some changes in external media that I think is important to note. Print media, particularly the local papers, are declining. The reporters there are declining, and we're seeing less interest from them. And there's a lot of things going on externally there. But TV, I want to applaud you guys. We're seeing more and more of the TV stations coming to us to use our faculty as subject matter experts. I think in the last 2 weeks alone, we've had 5 TV stories had a lead role in that. And I thank you guys. I know that when they contact us, we have very little time to respond, and many of you have dropped what you're doing to make sure that we get the PR associated with that. And it's also, we're able to display the quality of faculty that we have here, and I thank you for that. On the social media side, despite all of the privacy concerns, Facebook still continues to be the primary social media. We've had 1,200 posts, 1.2 million users have been reached, and 63,000 people have engaged with us. So while we're seeing a decline in the external media, we're able to publish a lot more of our own content. Videos will continue to be our focus. We're seeing a lot more engagement with videos, and we've invested in some training, new video editing software, and equipment. And I ask that you continue to send us stories. I made this plea last I'll make it again. You, particularly the faculty, you know the interesting stories that are occurring out there. And as the registrar pointed out about the two nursing students, I'll use that as an example. The nursing, the couple to us, and we were able to feature them in a Valentine's Day video, which got a lot of views. And it's nice to show what makes us unique and also have a little fun in the process. So please continue to send us those stories. And sometimes we don't know when we'll use it, but having a bank of stories to go to is very helpful for our team. The call center has answered year to date nearly 43,000 calls inbound, and they've made 1,600 outbound calls, which has been a shift this year. We've used them for some outgoing call campaigns, and they've had 1,500 chat sessions. Thank you again for all that you're doing and how you help us tell our story.
I think that gets through everything. We got one more? Oh, Nicole. Oh. Arm's going.
Thank you for that warm introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Ken Fincher. I'm the Executive Director of the Vice President of Institutional Advancement. And very happy to be before you today, give you a brief report. We are on a calendar year at the foundation, not a fiscal year as the university is. So we have some overlap between last year and this year. So some of the numbers I'm going to share with you are from last year. I'm going to give you a little bit of what's going forward this year. So we'll go over a couple of semesters. Last year, the annual campaign for the university was $850,000, and very happy to say that we surpassed that by about $15,000, and are on tracking to do the same for the 2018 annual campaign. A very large part of that campaign was the faculty and staff giving. Faculty and staff gave over $80,000. I know this may be with the tradition, but please give yourselves a hand for doing it. That's remarkable. Thank you very much. We hope to continue and improve that as well. In about 20 seconds, Eastman and Macon and the others are going to applaud too. So it's like the wave across the system. We also are in the midst of a greatness campaign, a capital campaign that started some years back, $11 million. We're making great strides with that campaign. Right shy of $3 million raised today, about $2.9 million. But we have a significant amount of ask and proposals in the works. And this week has been a particular week with a lot of very exciting meetings. I'd like to do a shout out, Dr. Cantwell, Dr. Tara Underwood, Dr. Anderson, for a great meeting we had this week with a funder who's talking to us about a 7-figure gift. That kind of made my day, my week, and it was a really good day. And we've had some others as well. So we're really hoping, working hard to help bring those in. Recently, we've had 3 sets of scholarships, new scholarships that have come to play for aviation, new scholarships for the contemporary musicianship program, and we have 2 proposals out, scholarships in the health sciences and School of Business. So we're very excited to continue this for academic programs for our students as well as faculty and staff in programs where we can. Capacity building, we're very happy that we've instituted 3 new softwares. We have Razor's Edge, which is a fundraising software, Financial Edge, which is financial software, and they talk to each other, and Academic Works, which is our new scholarship portal. On Monday of the Knights golf tournament at Houston Lakes Community Country Club. Tomorrow we have the retiree reception. Vicky's, I'm not sure if Vicky's still here or not, but you were invited to the reception on the Macon campus at 1:30. a dessert reception for the recent retirees. Would hope you'll be able to join us. In August 17th, we're having a new program, a new event for the university, and it is to raise money for the contemporary musicianship program. It's called A Night With, and our first event will have Mark Martell, who's an international singing star. He toured with Queen Extravaganza. He's toured with a number of great artists and is a fantastic performer, and will be on campus to meet and talk with students about a life and career in music. And then we'll do a performance that night, which will be a fundraiser for, again, for that degree program. The President's Gala was wonderful this past year. We'll have again in September. We recently held the President's Club reception at the home of Bob and Georgia Hatcher. And in February of this past year, I'm sorry, just recently, this past February, we had our academic scholarship award reception where we had our donors and our scholarship awardees together to say thanks and to recognize all of our donors. And Kara, did you leave? Where are you? Kara, stand up. Another round of applause for a faculty member who recently endowed a scholarship as a faculty member for the Dublin campus. Give her a big hand. Stand up. Oh, she is standing. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Stephen, yes, her lesser half had something to do with that as well. Stephen, if you're in Dublin, thank you. He should be in class. He should be like us and have no class. Okay. Boys, okay. All right, to wrap up, I want to quickly report about alumni. The alumni have had several board meetings and are very active and engaged, and created the 1884 Giving Society for alumni. It's about $256 a year. We had a staff member, Tyler Horn, was the first charter member of that group, and we're really pushing that within our alumni. As a minimum level, you can obviously give a great deal more, but we're asking folks, particularly new alums and those who are graduating, to get into that program. We also have 3 affinity programs, 2 of which you received an email at Kroger. If you have your Kroger card, I know I go there about once, twice a week. If you go in and you can link that portion of your purchases will come to the foundation. We also on Smile. And if you have any questions about those 2 programs, let me know. And we recently signed an agreement with Geico to support us as well. These affinity programs are traditional across a lot of campuses, a lot of universities, and we're very happy because they can be really easy to raise lots of money for the foundation. In closing, I would just like to say that we have a great group of trustees on the foundation. We had 7 new foundation recruited. At the first meeting, one of those new trustees wrote a check for $20,000. So we're really excited. A great group of movers and shakers and door openers who are very interested in promoting Middle Georgia State University and the programs we have. We have the grant application process was reevaluated and relaunched this past October. We will do it again this October, where we will send out to all faculty members the opportunity to submit a grant application for funding for a program. Some of the programs we helped fund this past year include orientation, things for Georgia Academy, speakers bureaus, cultural programs on the different campuses. And so we increased our giving through the foundation. We were already giving a great deal, but we increased it by $74,000. And so if you have any questions or concerns about applying, or you can be involved with the application process, be happy to sit and meet with you and talk with you and walk you through that. And we also are having a new grant writer start on May 1st. This is a great step for us towards a vibrant grant program, not just for philanthropic groups and family foundations and corporate foundations, but the opportunity to reach into governmental civic foundations as well. Lastly, I'm sorry I said lastly before, but P.S. I'm also a parent of my son is a history major. And so I get to hear coming to and going back from home, I get to hear all about school. and what he's learning and what he's doing. And I have to tell you, it's always great. It's always positive. And I am just so thankful as a parent for what you do. As a staff member of the foundation, I could almost double, triple that, because our job within the foundation, institutional advancement, is to go and tell the community what you're doing and to have them invest in this. Very happy to say the community is responding because they see the great hard work that you're doing. The graduates putting out into the community that are staying here, working here, living here, and contributing. People see that and they're responding with their time, money, and their interest. So thank you. Keep up the good work you're doing, and please call me anytime I can be of assistance. Thank you.
I think that's it. Is there any further business? All right, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. For 37 motions to adjourn. Macon wants to adjourn. Nod. Good. All right. The motion was carried. Oh, no, let's try it again. I jumped the gun. All in favor at this time, please say aye. Aye. Yeah. All opposed? Yeah. The current time is 4:49, so we didn't do too bad. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for listening. Sorry for all this stuff. Anything that went wrong is my fault. That's not a joke.